Today's lecture is on the security in e-commerce transactions. So we will cover the cryptography and digital signatures. So what is this cryptography? Symmetric and asymmetric type of cryptographies are there. Public and private key cryptography and digital signatures. So these three topics we will cover in today's lecture. What is security issues and what are the security concerns? There are four types of security concerns: authentication, integrity, non-repudiation, and access control. So what are these security concerns? What is this authentication, integrity, non-repudiation, and access control? Let's understand this. Integrity. Integrity means it is ability to ensure that information being displayed on a website or transmitted or received over the internet has not been altered in any way by an unauthorized party. That is called the integrity. Non-repudiation, ability to ensure that e-commerce participants do not deny online actions. That means the persons who are involving in e-commerce or who are participating in e-commerce, they do not deny the online actions. Okay, they must the meaning of this is, if you want to provide the payment online, then they have to accept payment online. If you want to give the cash on delivery, if they have providing you the option, then they must uh, oblige you and allow you to give the cash on delivery. Now third one is authenticity, ability to identify the identity of a person or entity with whom you are dealing on the internet. Then fourth one is confidentiality, ability to ensure that messages and data are available only to those authorized to view them. Okay. Then the privacy, ability to control use of information a customer provides about himself or herself to merchant. Availability, ability to ensure that e-commerce site continues to functions as intended. So these are the dimensions of e-commerce security. Then security threats in the e-commerce environment are, there are three key points of vulnerability, that is client, server, and communications channel. So most common threats are malicious code, hacking and cyber vandalism, credit card fraud or theft, spoofing, denial of service attacks, sniffing, and insider jobs. So these are the common threats which can be on these client or server or communication channels. So these are the general security threats in e-commerce environment. Then cryptography. What is this cryptography? Plain text means the message encryption encoding, hiding the contents from outsiders, or encoding the message. That means whatever the message you have written, that must be encoded. Ciphertext, the encrypted message. So when you encode that, and that message has been encrypted into a ciphertext. The missing of ciphertext is the encrypted message. Now, who will understand this decryption? The process of retrieving the plain text from the ciphertext. So all these are the algorithms. Is an encryption algorithm which translates your plain text into the encoding text. Okay, or you can say the encrypted message. And the decryption is an algorithm which reads your encrypted message and again translates into the cipher and translates again into the plain text. So this is how this encryption and ciphertext and decryptions work, and these are the meanings of this. So encryption and decryption makes use of a key and a coding method. Sender, plain text, then encryption algorithm works in the network, ciphertext works, and that means this is the internet. So here ciphertext goes so that if someone is intruder or some spoofing or some kind of hacking attack is going on, so they are unable to understand what is this text. Then again, when this text is ciphertext is received, Then this decryption algorithms convert this ciphertext into the plain text, and this plain text will be read by the receiver. So this is how this cryptography works. Cryptographic goals. There are four goals: confidentiality, data integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. In confidentiality, there are symmetric key ciphers, block ciphers, stream ciphers, and public key ciphers. So we will not go into the deep of all these ciphers. So this is in the confidentiality. That means here the symmetric key in the terms of cipher is provided. So then the data integrity, arbitrary length hash functions, and message authentication codes or MAC codes are there in the digital signatures. So whatever the message you are providing, that message will be provided with this certain type of codes and digital signatures for the authentication of that particular method, that is for data. So this becomes the data integrity. Then authentication, entity authentication, authentication primitives, then message authentication, MACs, and digital signatures. That means whatever the message the receiver is receiving, what is the authentication of that message. So this comes at this level. Then non-repudiation, that means digital signature. That means the information is coming from a valid source. So digital signature verifies that and authentic that. Encryption techniques. There are three important encryption techniques: symmetric or private key encryption, then asymmetric or public key encryption, and digital signature, which are based on a variation of public key encryption. So we will take the overview of all these techniques. We will not go into the deep. So first is symmetric or private key encryption. So data, data in encryption algorithm, some secret key is there. Then ciphertext provided. That data is encrypted into the ciphertext. Then a key is provided. That means secret key. Then same key must be provided at the receiver's end, and the data will be decrypted after providing that secret key and data out. It's a very basic and simple example of this. If you have seen, if you receive a credit card statement from a particular bank, all the credit card statements are password protected. So they have provided you a certain technique how to open uh, that credit card statement to the password, how to apply the password. So that password is your private key. So that bank uh, is provided the private secret key, that is the password, and then the bank has given you the way how to open that PDF and how to apply the password. So you all do that, and when you provide the password to that PDF, downloaded PDF, then that credit card statement opens and you can easily read that statement. This is called the symmetric key or private key encryption. Then asymmetric key matlab public key encryption. That means when the data is input encryption, the secret key is there, different keys key pair, then the public key, and decryption and data output. So what is this secret keys here? The secret key is when somebody is sending a PDF to you or some type of attachment in the emails, that all are encrypted in a encrypted manner with a secret key, and that secret, and when you receive that information decrypts with the public key. That means when you open, let's suppose an example that someone is sending you a PDF file. Okay, that PDF file is decrypted. The Google algorithm decrypts, or you can say the Google algorithm encrypts the that PDF or that message and sends to the receiver. When the receiver receives that message, the public key, which is already an algorithm which is saved by default at the computers at the receiver's end. That means when you downloaded the PDF, that PDF is opened in the Adobe Reader or Acrobat Reader. So that Adobe or Acrobat Reader has that public key. So that's why that PDF is opened very easily in a particular software. This is called the public key. So this is a asymmetric public key encryption. The third one is digital signature. Okay, but first of all, let's study the symmetric cryptography properly, how it works. The encryption process where same keys are used for encrypting and decrypting the information is known as symmetric key encryption. Symmetric cryptography, symmetric crypto systems are also sometimes referred to as secret key crypto systems. That means these are plain text encryption. This is a diagram of a key, but actually here the private key algorithm applies. Then your plain text has been encrypted into a ciphertext. Then that same algorithm applies here. Okay, and that algorithm decrypts your ciphertext, and the receiver receives the plain text. This is how the symmetric key or symmetric cryptography works. Then in asymmetric cryptography, the encryption process where different keys are used for encrypting and decrypting the information is known as asymmetric key encryption. The public key is used for encryption and the private key is used for decryption. Okay, these keys are different, they are mathematically related, and hence retrieving the plain text by decrypting ciphertext is feasible. The most common asymmetric algorithm are Diffie-Hellman and RSA algorithms. So these algorithms you must know, but what are these algorithms? Right now, you don't have to study in a deep. Okay, but you must know the name of the algorithm. So this is how the asymmetric cryptography or asymmetric encryption techniques works. Then the comparison chart of symmetric and asymmetric encryption, the basis for in comparison, the basic the symmetric key and encryption. Symmetric encryption uses a single key for both encryption and decryption, whereas asymmetric encryption uses a different key for encryption and decryption. In the performance, symmetric encryption is fast in execution, and asymmetric encryption is slow in execution due to the high computational burden. Algorithms for symmetric are DES, 3DES, AES, and RCA, whereas in asymmetric encryption, Diffie-Hellman and RSA algorithms works. The purpose, the symmetric encryption is used for bulk data transmission, and asymmetric encryption is often used for securely exchange secret keys. So this is the difference between symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Then the digital signature. A digital signature is a mathematical technique used to validate the authenticity and integrity of a message, software, or digital document. So digital signature certifies contains the person's name, their PIN code, their country name and email address, the date when the certificate was issued, and the certifying authority's name. This certificate gives further validation of the digital signature. A very good example of digital signature is the Aadhaar card. You have seen that the Aadhaar card is valid when the digital signature is verified. So when you open your e-Aadhaar card, the it gives your digital signature verification. If your e-Aadhaar card is not digital signature verified, then it gives you a message that first make it a digital signature verified. So where uh, the space of the digital signature verification is there on the e-Aadhaar card. If it is not a verified, the question mark sign is there. If it is verified, then the digital signature comes in some code form. So, and that code contains your name, your PIN code, country name, email address, or whatever the government is providing in the digital signature. This is how the digital signature is. So, this is the signer, then data encryption, it is digital signed, then hash algorithms are there. After that it is decrypted, and some algorithms, hash value algorithms are there, and the receiver receives the document or data after it is digitally signed. Okay, how do digital signature works? Digital signatures are based on public key cryptography, also known as asymmetric cryptography. Normally, there are three algorithms involved in the digital signature process. Creation of two keys that are mathematically linked. An algorithm provides a private key together with its corresponding public key. Signature. This algorithm produces a signature where a private key and the message that is being signed is received. Verification. This algorithm checks the authenticity of the message, verifying it together with the signature and the public key. The hash functions are algorithms that are created from an input, can be text, a password, or a file. For example, an alphanumerical output, or usually a fixed length that represents an overview of all the information. To create a digital signature, the signature software creates a one-way hash of the electronic data that needs to be signed. The private key is used to encrypt the hash. The encrypted hash together with other information is the digital signature. So this is how the digital signature works. Uses of digital signature for personal use. Users can always sign every document that she sent out electronically for security purpose. It does not matter where user is sending the document and to whom. In business, user can always send electronically signed documents to its business partners, investors, and other shareholders when communicating important official information. There are other examples where digital signatures are applicable, and they include signing business deals and signing proposals, such as business in the architecture, engineering, and construction companies. These are the examples. So these signs can also be used in business to sign tenders, procurements, and even in making biddings. They make running of businesses very easy and smooth. So in a business purpose, when online you are sending your quotation, or you are sending the billing, or you are sending some data, that should be some authentic. So to make that authentic in the business purpose, the sender must have a digital signature. So sender puts a digital signature on the document, and it sends to the required place. Returning filing for GST. With the introduction of GST in India, businesses have seen better days. Even so, the filing of returns, or the filing of returns, is what many people have had issues with. But because of the issuance of digital signatures and the availability of e-filing, the process has been made easier, faster, efficient, and convenient. So you can easily see how to uh, filing the returns through the GST, and how the digital signatures are there. Similarly, filing of income tax. Many citizens of India always have to file their income tax returns all over India. The introduction of e-filing made things a little easier, and with the introduction of digital signatures, things have become better than ever. So user can sign all the documents required while in the comfort of your home. This is how the digital signature works. So these are the references for the current topic. And in the next lecture, we will study about the public key infrastructure, that is digital certificate, certification authority, registration authority, and key repository, and the SSL and SEP protocols. So till then, thank you very much.